welcome back to another touchpointgroup.com insight session. I'm Glenn Marvin, and we are going to be focusing on the UK banks, in particular the legacy banks, and even more granular, we're going to look at Nationwide versus Barclays this month, because this is a great example of two banks and apps that are really close in their rankings, and that if you focus on incremental gains in hyper-specific individual journeys and features, that can be the difference that you need to make to either overtake or keep ahead of the competition. Tony Patrick, welcome back. It's so good to have you giving us these deep insight sessions, and let's get straight into it because there's a lot to cover off in this.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks, Glenn. And yeah, today the UK banks. So we'll cover off Lloyds, Barclays, NatWest, Nationwide, Santander UK, and HSBC UK. So broadly, let's just jump in because it's a great way to kick us off as to see what are the scores doing. So let's have a look here. So what I might do, I might pop on, just to start us off, I might just put on these Santander and HSBC. So one of the things we noticed about HSBC last time around was that there has been a massive pickup in July. So HSBC has done some massive work at the back end to make sure all of their issues with the app were improved, and that's really picked things up. It has dropped a bit into August, but we'll see how that settles down and how that works through as those improvements come to bear on customers. The other one is we can see here that Santander has actually dropped and actually has picked up since that point. So they obviously clearly had some issues in July that have actually picked up. Let's clear away those two so our scale gets into some sort of order here. And what we can see is one of the things I'd look at today is Nationwide. So Nationwide has done really well, except for potentially the September to November period last year. It's sort of moving in the right direction in general. It's sort of moving up towards those top two, which is looking at around the likes of Lloyds and of course even if we jump in here and look at Barclays as well. So Barclays is up there, but Barclays tends to be just above. Like Nationwide has jumped above it probably once over the past year, but Nationwide is just sort of sitting below it. If we look at this time around, though, we can see that the engaged customer score for Nationwide is 4.2 compared to the engaged customer score for Barclays at 4.3, so very close. Now, one of the things about the engaged customer score, for those who aren't aware, the engaged customer score looks at those customers who've given both a score and a comment. And that's what we call engaged. And what that allows us to do is have very sensitive information as to what's going on with the app. So if we see movement in that score, we see there's actually something real happening with your app. If it goes down, there are definitely problems going on. If it goes up, you've actually improved something. So it's a really positive way to make improvements and compare yourself to the rest of the market. So Nationwide, let's have a look at them and why and how they can close that gap into Barclays. So first of all, one of the things I'd like to do first is have a broad look at the issues going on with the app. So this is looking at our SURF analysis. So this is looking at security and authentication, usability, reliability, and functionality. Now, one of the key things about this is these are all pain points. So the lower, the better. You want to get these as low as you can. And in some of the global markets, if we add all these together in terms of this, each of these sectors together, if you get below 20%, you're starting to compete with the top globally. And of course, even Barclays here is sort of around 33%. So they've still got room to move to be best globally, but they are doing better than Nationwide. But it's not a massive gap, and that's what I was talking about before. It's about this small gap that's consistent between Nationwide and Barclays. What can they do? Well, across the past quarter, we can see that it's about a 3%. There's 3% more issues with reliability for Nationwide. There's about 2 to 3% more issues with functionality. Security authentication, there's a couple of percent. So usability is fine. So generally, the usability of the app is all fine. It's just these little problems that appear elsewhere that are the problem. So let's have a bit of a look at reliability, because that's a core one to understand. Interesting, before we look at the technical issues, let's look at app bugs. So overall, Nationwide in the past quarter has had fewer bug mentions than Barclays at half the level. So that's interesting. app crashes are about the same. So it's not necessarily about the bugs and crashes. It's about things working as you expect them to, which is a big issue for customers here with technical issues. So they're trying to do something and it doesn't work as expected. Not quite a bug and not quite a crash, but somewhere that's a bit softer than that, but it's a problem along the way. So one of the things we'd like to do now is have a look at things like the particular journeys in here. So what we've got here is just a few I've selected. So some very basic ones like monitoring account activity, depositing a check, checking account balance, transferring between accounts, and paying bills via the app. Now, the view I've got here, though, is a general view of people just commenting around about this topic. So the score here is the average score about that. So people can talk about positive or negative things. It's different to the surf analysis, which was purely negative. This could be anything around that topic. So here the score, the higher the score is better. You want a high score here because you want people scoring well on each of your journeys across the app. So again, there's subtle differences. And it has to be subtle here because there's a very small difference in gap between the scores. But monitoring account activity, one of the core functions of an app, of a banking app, 3.5 versus 3.8. So a 0.3 gap between the two. And one of the things I can see here as well across to the right is a basic thing like transferring money between accounts has a 0.2 gap in there. And also paying bills has a 0.4 gap. So there's a few little things that need to be improved across the board. One of the things I want to look at now, though, is this little thing here about transferring funds. Let's have a look at Nationwide across the past quarter and see, what I'll do here. Let's go down to the negative things. As I said, this could be negative or positive things, and all we're seeing is the average score. Let's look at the negative things coming through for Nationwide. So in this case here, I can see a few things here. Now, one of the things that's popping up here a few times is I love this app, but the one major problem is you're unable to transfer money to a new personal organization without your card reader, which is really annoying. So that's interesting. That's obviously Nationwide will be aware of that because that's a security feature they have, but it is annoying customers. And actually here, this person actually said here, and I'll click on this to give us some more detail. So this is about that card reader again. So you need to actually have that card reader to set up that new payee to transfer that money. So obviously a problem for that customer there. And across the board, we can see a few things happening here. Again, this is all it's little small things going on. The app this person here, the app crashes when they try to transfer money. Again, I can't transfer money outside of Nationwide or set up new payee, so an issue for that customer. So again, there's probably some little emerging issues. But again, it's the small things they need to have a look at. Is there a different way they can add security to this rather than having that card reader? Because that seems to be annoying a lot of customers along the way. So a few things there for Nationwide to have a look at. But what the last few I want to have a look at is actually looking at Nationwide overall, because Nationwide has actually improved from our July to August. So it's improved from our 4.0 up to 4.2. And we can see a few things going on. So we can see with reliability, again, these are purely problems. So the lower is better. And again, reliability overall has gone, it was up around 14, it's gone to 12.8. Technical issues have also dropped, and the app's not working has also dropped. So that's really good. We've got things like usability improvements as well. So usability has gone from about around 7% down to 5%. So that's a really good improvement across the board. So it's not some major thing that's actually gone on. There's actually some incremental things that have gone on. And again, if they do that once more in September, they go a long way towards overtaking Barclays. So well done to Nationwide, but they've still got room to move to get to that top level.
Yeah, fantastic insights yet again, Tony. Just going to show yet again that consistent incremental gains and focusing on the little things done well can end up making quite a massive difference in the overall performance. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you'd like to talk about your bank and do a deep dive in regards to the performance of your app's performance, we're more than happy to have a chat. See you next month.